Okay, so I have this neighbour, a 32-year-old man we'll call Phil. A few weeks ago, my house was broken into and some items were taken while I was at work. I work overnight, so it happened at night. And news spread around the neighbourhood after I called the police and a few patrol cars showed up. The following day, I was sitting outside in my carport, scrolling on my phone when Phil approached me. He mentioned he'd heard about what happened and asked if I was all right. He then suggested that I install security cameras in certain spots, and we ended up chatting for about 10 minutes, catching up. To give some background, Phil and I have known each other for over 20 years. We went to the same elementary school, watched each other grow up through high school, though we were never particularly close. Anyway, as we're catching up, he's telling funny stories, acting them out, and even falling to the ground. Just having a great time. Then, while he's doing one of his funny stunts, my phone falls out of his pocket. At first he says, "Oh no, it fell." I was confused because I didn't see what actually fell since it landed behind him. I assumed it was his phone. He picks it up, and it takes me a few seconds to realize it's the same bright red iPhone as mine, without a case. I was completely taken aback. My initial reaction was, "Oh cool, we have the same phone." But then it struck me, and I looked over and realized my phone wasn't on the stool where I'd left it. I asked him wide-eyed, "Is that my phone?" My jaw was on the ground. He said, "Yes, of course, you left it outside. I didn't want anyone to take it." I thanked him, and he handed it back to me. We kept talking for another 5 minutes, but I found an excuse to go inside because my mind was racing with what had just happened. Here's the thing. Before I noticed my phone was missing, I had stepped inside my house for maybe 40 seconds to grab something. It's private property. So I left my phone on the porch / carport area. So I'm wondering if I should give him the benefit of the doubt. But we'd already been talking for at least 10 minutes before the phone fell, so he had plenty of time to tell me. And there was no reason for him to put it in his pocket, especially when my front door was just a few steps away. He still waves at me occasionally, and I wave back. But I'm shocked that right after the break-in, my neighbour would try something like this while checking up on me. I hope he just forgot to mention he'd put it in his pocket, but it's hard not to feel hurt, given the situation. I don't believe he was responsible for the break-in. I actually suspect an even closer neighbour, but that's a different story. I think he might have just been taking advantage of the vulnerable situation I was in. TLDR. My neighbour pockets my iPhone during a friendly conversation. After 10 minutes, the phone falls out of his pocket. He returns it, and I thank him. We still wave at each other, but there's no reason he should have pocketed it in the first place. Feeling hurt and shocked.